Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here with my second quarter resolution tune-up, and there's a bunny in the yard. Because I had such a good response with the first quarter, I figured I want to go ahead and do quarterly check-ins, so this way I'm more accountable and I'm more successful in reaching those long-term goals. But if you want to see how I did in the second quarter, then keep on watching. As if I was not making excuses, but I wasn't doing as much as I had been in the first quarter. I had a lot of things going on in the second quarter, like the wedding in New Hampshire, just like weekends away with Ryan and like holidays, and you know, the trip to Europe was definitely a huge part of that too. And I felt as if like a lot of the goals that I was making were in preparation for X, Y, and Z. So when I felt that it came to like my personal growth for the quarter, I really didn't feel I was as successful as I could have been. I don't think it's to say that like I wasn't successful, period, because I definitely did accomplish a lot of the things on my goal list, but it wasn't, I think, as much progress as I wanted to make. Definitely felt myself like rolling through the motions of kind of just like doing things for the sake of getting them done, for crossing them off of like that imaginary to-do list. And I was a little bit more in tune with my goals too, like they were more congruent across the board. I knew what I wanted to accomplish. I did accomplish a lot of those things, but also like I felt that I could have done a lot more too. Again, I felt like it was not complacent or getting bored with my routines, but I think it could have been better. But of course, there's always room for improvement too. I'll be sure to link down the other two videos for the resolutions and also the first quarter tune-up, so you can kind of see how these videos are going to go. I have 4 resolution categories I wanted to talk about, and we'll talk about how the second quarter goals were, talk about how it went, and then what my third quarter goals are. So the first one that I want to talk about is my creativity resolution, which, as you guys will know if you read the blog and if you watch the videos, this is my hardest resolution. I am creative in the sense that I do create content for this channel, which I feel like I'm a broken record saying that. But when I think of creativity, I'm thinking of creating art, creating music, creating something that stimulates the creative process in my brain. Because I am a Pisces, I'm supposed to be intuitively creative, and I'm certainly not that. My second quarter goal was to purchase a keyboard and begin practicing 2 times a week. I did buy the keyboard on Amazon, and I practiced it maybe a handful of 6 or 7 times. I was all gung-ho because I had found an app through the keyboard. Like, I thought when I purchased it, it was working, and then like the free trial ended, so I was like, oh, well, let me find another one. I couldn't justify spending the money on a subscription program at that point in time. It's not to say that if I'm not serious about learning the piano that I won't invest in a program, but like right now I want to look at other options to see like if something would be a cheaper alternative. Or now, because I have the physical keyboard here, it's in my room, it's like right in the front of my bed. I can't kick it every night when I go to bed. There isn't an excuse anymore. It's just now trying to find the resources to use for it. I really want to start etching out those 45 minutes 2 times a week to just turning my phone off or using resources to really kind of practice and learn. For what I did learn, I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, I can still read notes, which is always exciting to know. And I definitely want to, you know, say that I taught myself something at the tender age of 25. You know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Not that I'm calling myself old, but it's like, it's a lot harder to retain the information the older that you get. Another goal I want to add to my resolutions for creativity this quarter is that I want to start practicing calligraphy again. I purchased all the books, I purchased all the pens, and I was practicing for maybe 15 to 20 minutes daily, and then I kind of fell off the bandwagon with that. But I think letter writing is so pretty, and I want to be good at it. If it's my one hidden talent, so be it. But I want to definitely, you know, start dedicating maybe 15 minutes 3 times a week of just turning everything off, as I said, and just focusing on that and then applying it more in my day-to-day life. Next resolution topic I want to talk about is the financial aspect. And this is one that in the past has kind of been a lot easier for me over the course of the year. My second quarter goals was to bring an emergency fund balance credit card to about $250 when the current balance at that time was about $715. I wanted to save up $300 in a rainy day fund, and I also wanted to bring down an express store credit card to $250, and that balance was at about $415. So I didn't do any of those. And in all fairness, a lot of it was because of that upcoming trip to Europe. I budgeted myself really well when it came to the trip. That I brought 560 euro to Europe. I still came home with over 100 euro left, and I really budgeted well for that. So, you know, that that's a separate entity. But when it came to like the credit card for the emergency fund, I wasn't making as heavy payments per month because, you know, I was trying to stretch my money so thin in so many different places, which kind of, you know, I didn't want to stipe myself because I had upcoming expenses for the trip, but because like I had money stowed away here and this and that. It wasn't that I was unsuccessful in doing those goals or like kind of planning for the set goals, but it was more I didn't really know how to go about it without it stretching too thin. I didn't bring the emergency credit card fund down only because, like, again, those expenses come up, and not that I really swiped my credit cards that often during the time. I was still using my debit cards for a lot of things when it came to preparations for the trip. But again, being able to budget and stretch the money as far as I could, that's why I couldn't pay those heavy payments. Really, the emergency fund credit card balance is at about $450. So I definitely didn't hit the goal, but I did make good chunks because if you figure if it was at $700 or so, I did make a good chunk that way. Rainy day fund quickly converted into my Gen Beauty fund, which is a beauty convention in New York City that I'm going to in October, which I will do a video about that a little bit later. That quickly became a Gen Beauty fund, and then with that, I bought my tickets to Gen Beauty with the money in there replacing it. Because I was spending so much money on the trip in preparation, I wasn't having extra cash to throw into that rainy day fund, so therefore it wasn't growing. Because I've already paid for my ticket with Gen Beauty, we'll talk about the goal a little bit later, but that fund is currently at about $140 or so, and yeah, so because the tickets to Gen Beauty were like $89 plus tax. Express credit card wasn't paid down, and that was because I bought things for the trip for Europe, but I did pay whatever I did buy off relatively quickly, if not like that week or like the next pay week. Like I was paying what I was putting on the card off quickly, so now it's a matter of just paying off previous purchases that I've made over the course of the life of the card. That balance is at about currently $409, but I do have a paycheck coming up that will bring that balance down to $300. Third quarter goals for my financial resolutions is to bring down the emergency credit card fund to about $200, and as I mentioned earlier, that card is at about $450 and a penny because I can't count. Next thing is I want to save up to $250 for the Gen Beauty fund, and that will be used towards buying my plane ticket to New York City, which I live that far from New York City that it's just more feasible to fly rather than drive. Other goal is to pay off that Express credit card, and as I said, it's currently at about $409, and I have a payment coming out literally next week that'll be bring that down to about $300, so that's a little bit more manageable. Next resolution topic I want to talk about is the fitness category, which is one of the biggest resolutions that we all have every year. Because I break those workout splits so thoroughly in my workout split videos, which I'll link down below, there's not a need to like discuss how this resolution went for me. But my third quarter goal for the fitness resolution is to lose another 15 pounds. Last resolution item I want to talk about is my intellectual resolution. Second quarter goals, I wanted to continue to learn German and Dutch for our upcoming trip. I wanted to read another 8 books, bringing the year total to 15, and I wanted to teach myself one song on the piano, kind of pulling into that creative resolution. I ended up not even needing to know them because those cities of Berlin and Amsterdam are so touristy that like they speak English there, but it was still cool to like dedicate 15 minutes a day to like teaching myself another language. I hit the 15 book mark on my Goodreads reading challenge, so I'm officially halfway done with the challenge, which is good pace. I'm on track as Goodreads calls it, but I definitely felt that I have slacked in the reading department, and I definitely want to get back into creating that nighttime habit again of unwinding an hour before bed with reading a book, averaging about 40 pages a night, and just kind of crushing through those. I've been since listening to audiobooks because I thought they'd be handy on the trip, but I realized how much I hate audiobooks and I can't have the attention span because I've been reading Chuck Palahniuk's The Judgment Day, and I really can't even tell you what I've been listening or reading because I don't pay attention to it. So the aforementioned creativity resolution, when it came to the piano, I can play Ode to Joy without looking at sheet music or playing it by sound, but that's about it. So even though it is Ode to Joy, which is one of the most basic original songs you can learn on the piano, it's still learning something, so I'm gonna count it as a positive because I did teach myself that. So yeah, that's cool. So when it comes to my third quarter goals, I definitely want to continue teaching myself a language, but I don't want to stick with Dutch or German or even going back to French or Russian, but I'm gonna actually try to teach myself Czech. Ryan and I will be going to Prague and Budapest in February of next year. This is not in preparation for the trip, because if that were the case, I'd also be learning Hungarian. But I've always wanted to learn Czech. I've always wanted to go to the Czech Republic. I've always wanted to go to Prague. So for me, this is more so for one of those weird party tricks that I've mentioned in, I think, one of my videos where I said I want to be able to talk and speak in different languages. And for me, I've always wanted to learn Czech. If even, again, it's the basis, that's fine with me. Another goal of mine is I want to read another 8 books, bringing the year total to 23 books for that Goodreads challenge. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to start looking at online schooling options. I briefly mentioned this, I think, in my last video, or maybe just in general, but I've always wanted to go back to school. I just didn't know how to, and because, like, financially, I'm in a fairly good place right now, I've been looking at some online options. And it's not to say that I'm going to sign up for classes anytime soon, even if it's taking like a course on a website or, you know, something that's going to help benefit me in the future. It's so important to teach yourself new things every single day. And as an adult, we don't have time to like sit down and like, you know, pick up something new. And I want to give myself maybe an option of, you know, starting to learn new things. If it is a matter of learning and finishing my degree, then that's great, but college is expensive, and truthfully, I don't think it's that important, because I'm somebody firsthand who had a job in her anticipated field of what she was getting her degree in, and I worked in that field for 2.5 years, and my field experience is so much more than what a classroom could teach me. So I'm not the biggest advocate for college, but I am a big advocate for teaching yourself new things. So it's a weird relationship, and I can discuss it later in a video if you guys are interested. That's not what I wanted to do. That was my second quarter resolution tune-up, so thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like my videos, and if you like my content, and if you like me, feel free to subscribe by hitting the button down below and getting notified when I post new resolution tune-ups. I guess these are now a thing now. I'll also be sure to do a full blog post about the resolutions where everything will be in black and white, and I'll go a little bit further, you know, discussing either new goals or how the second quarter went, but you guys can check that out at the blog over at Life with Sarah or at sarahlock.com, 2 H's, 2 K's, and I'll also be sure to link all my social media profiles down below too, so you can follow me wherever I might be. That was very long-winded. I felt that this video was very all over the place, but you know what? That's how that second quarter felt, and I think that's a general catch-all of how I'm feeling lately. It's just everything's so all over the place. As I said, July's gonna be a crazy content month, and I feel like that I've been filming so much and I've been doing so much, and it's just kind of like, this is the pace I like being. I like being busy. I like creating things for myself, as I mentioned, and so for me, this is exciting. This is fun. I definitely think when it comes to the third quarter, I have a good set of goals in mind now, and I definitely feel that because I'm not worried about this trip, I've traveled internationally now, that like I don't have to worry about that when it comes in November for our trip to Iceland. But you know what I mean? It's just like, it feels like that there's this huge weight that's been lifted. I'm now more prepared. I feel really great, confident in the future, and like I said, 2018 was going to be my best year yet. I'm definitely on pace for that being the case, and what the hell, what can I say? I definitely feel great. Also working on resolutions, and if you're working on bettering yourself, let me know in a comment. You know, let's get this thing rolling when it comes to promoting a positive environment and being around people that make you pull out your best self. And it's all about growth here. Like, this is the biggest thing, is like I watch videos back from like when I first started this channel to now, and watching the confidence bloom, so to speak, and watching myself grow as an adult, and like all the things I've been through, even in the course of this year alone, has just been crazy. And like I said, I'm all about positivity, all about good vibes, and I want to pass it on to like everybody. I want it to be so contagious that it's hard not to be positive. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Take care, love you always, and until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.